The libretto upon which the opera has been composed is based on an ancient Mesopotamian myth, Adapa and the South Wind. The myth was written in a Semitic language, which we call now Akkadian, Mesopotamia, southern Iraq.
The wind blows in Akkadian is izikke. So my part says izikke, zikke, 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 zikke.
Zibe Fleischer's opera Adapa marks the culmination of her lifelong preoccupation with mythologies, both distant and near. In this case, she chose to set an ancient myth in its original language, Akkadian, which is the spoken language of nobody in the world today. And this contributes to the sense of initial alienation, of creating a different alien world, very distant from our own. A feeling also compounded by the fact that apart from one character, most of the characters are gods or spirits or winds, and there is very little human confrontation within the story itself, in sharp contrast to her earlier setting of the Cain and Abel myth.
One day, and here our myth, the narrative begins, Adapa goes out to the vast sea, the wind is calm, he goes out, drifted by the sea, start fishing. Then all of a sudden the south wind blows abruptly and drowned him into the water. Now Adapa didn't know what to do. The only thing that he did is what anybody would do, is just curse.
However, the music does project a strong sense of the sublime on the one hand and a great sensuality on the other hand, a sensuality whose denial in the central requiem, which is a picture of the earth in the state of desolation, also marks a very dramatic spot.
I remember that I was sitting in Eilat, in a hotel, to be closer to a point, that is more to the south of Israel than to the north of Israel, to breathe a little bit the south desert, the south wind that I have here in this mythos. In scene 4, one of the elements that repeats, shu, tu, it's before anamati, and after sebetumi. And then I decided I leave everything. I throw it only to be concentrated in this process. So first of all, for every scene, I was going with the sketches. It jumped on sheets of various sizes and ways of cutting things that I just had in the kitchen. This is an idea for this scene. I must write it immediately. So I don't have, but a napkin. Okay, I write it on a napkin and so on. So for every scene, first of all, this was more or less gathered, let's say. And that was the cathartic, really moment. For each scene, the draft score. Draft, in my way, is not really something that looks like a score. It is just something like a page, that there I put everything that is already there in this scena, which means the composition was done.
So the chief god, the head of the Mesopotamian pantheon, Anu, his name, summons Adapa for a trial. Why did you break the wing of the south wind? But Ea did not want to lose Adapa. So he instructed Adapa how to trick the situation in order to come back to him. He told him, you will be served by Anu the food of death and the water of death. Don't drink or eat, because you will be dead.
La takal memuti ukalonikoma la tashati
Tzippi suggested that we introduce the power of Eros between Adapa and the south wind, which brings also fertility.